Good evening, namaskar, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Vishwa Bandhan Foundation, I would like to welcome you to this very special night. Tonight we pay tribute to Abhishek Mitra, who lived with cerebral palsy. He was deeply moved by the music of Kumar Sanu and the Bollywood music that he was so famous for. Mr. Kumar Sanu is the brand ambassador of the Vishwa Bandhan Foundation and joins us tonight in the efforts of the Vishwa Bandhan Foundation to create awareness about cerebral palsy. I would now like to invite Mr. Gautam Mitra, the founder and president of the Vishwa Bandhan Foundation, to to tell you a little bit more about the foundation and how and the work that they do. Mr. Dr. Mitra.
Thank you everybody to join in this event. So I'd like to give something about the Bishop of this background. Mr. Ravindra Prasad Jaiswal, the Deputy Chief of the Mission, the Embassy of India, Mr. Philip Pointy, former Swiss Ambassador to India, Dr. Thomas Nisser, Professor and Chairman, the Cardiology University Heart Center, Kumar Shanu Grand Ambassador of Bishop Foundation for Cerebral Palsy, friends from the media and distinguished guests. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming you in the World Convention and Bollywood Night organized by Bishop Foundation for Cerebral Palsy. May I take this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome to Mr. Ravindra Prasad Jaiswal, the Deputy Chief of the Mission of the Embassy of India. His presence itself at the occasion expressed the importance of such an initiative and further encourages us for many more such initiatives in days to come. On my personal behalf and on behalf of the Vishwavan Foundation, I would like to welcome Mr. Philip Pointy, former Swiss Ambassador to India, and Dr. Thomas Nisser, Professor and Chairman of Cardiology University Heart Center. We are extremely thankful for kindly agreeing to grace this occasion today for the presence is indeed very special to us. I also welcome Sri Kumar Shanu, singer and Grand Ambassador of Vishwavan Foundation for Cerebral Palsy. Thank you for devoting your precious time and being with us here today. Awareness of cerebral palsy with the power of music. Vishwavan is an expression in Bengal that means the world united. The foundation was registered in Zurich, Switzerland on 23rd August 2012, and its Indian arm was registered in India as Vishwavan Foundation India for Cerebral Palsy on 5th February 2013. The foundation aims to be an easily accessible platform for people affected by cerebral palsy all over the world, the parents, caregivers, and all professionals working in this field. We have a vision to spread our operation in more than 200 countries and across the globe. Cerebral means the brain, and palsy refers to the problem in the muscle movement. It is essentially associated with the children and can be caused before birth, during birth, and after birth. All children who have cerebral palsy are not affected in the same way. The degree of disability could vary, and the type of cerebral palsy this child is suffering from could also vary. Some children could have severe muscle problems, while others might encounter learning problems, while still others might encounter speech problems. Although motor control is affected in many children, their level of intelligence can be still pretty high. They can have sound in minds, but bodies, and it's unfortunate but true that they are often mistreated by society. Therapy support, equipment, and medical intervention have gone a long way in aiding people with this disability. Of many types of subtypes of cerebral palsy, none has no cure. Usually medical intervention is limited to the treatment and prevention of the complication arising from cerebral palsy's effect. Various forms of cerebral palsy are available to people living with cerebral palsy as well as caregivers and parents caring of someone with this disability. They can all be useful at all stages of disability and are vital in a person with cerebral palsy ability to function and live more effectively. In general, the earlier treatment begins, the better chance children have of overcoming development disability or learning new ways to accomplish the task that challenge them. My only son, Abhishek Mitra, was 100% cerebral palsy, which was a result of lack of medical awareness during his birth, and unfortunately he expired on 26 June 2014 at the age of 27. Again due to absence of medical awareness. While I was helpless in the relieving his agony, I used to think whether somewhere in some corner of the globe, some knows ways to bring relief to my son. With this thought, I came up with the vision of my life to create this global platform which can be beneficial to not only my son, but to millions of people across the globe affected by cerebral palsy. Our mission, where in phases, we would like to work in all the countries of the world and work towards converting each country to a safe delivery and cerebral palsy-free zone. We have already received support from the Indian President, His Excellency Mr. Pranab Mukherjee, the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, the Honorable Minister of Health, Family Welfare, Mr. J.P. Nadda, the Honorable Minister for Law Justice, D.V. Sadanand Gowda, the Tourism Ministry of India, apart from the presidents of various countries like President of Croatia, Ireland, Gambia, Guyana, Germany, Austria, Ethiopia, the Queen of England, King of Netherlands, and Thailand, and also from the Prime Ministers like United Kingdom, France, Democratic Republic of Timor, Zambia, Albania, Namibia, Canada, Israel, Slovenia, Taiwan, and Governor Generals of Antigua and Barbuda, New Zealand, Canada, Australia, Bahamas, and the Governor of Bermuda. We would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to the Honorable Prime Minister of Tonga, who extended a very special message to us on this occasion of this convention. We are indeed very grateful to the government of Switzerland for supporting us since the beginning of our journey and inspiring us to move forward in our noble mission. We would particularly like to thank Mr. Simon Aman, the head of the Federal Department of Economic Affairs, Education and Research, the University Hospital of Zurich, Minister of Health, Cantonal Government of St. Gallen, University of Lausanne, Canton of Zurich for their support to the foundation and also support received from the Medical and Scientific Director, International Olympic Committee, President of European Commission, FIFA, Hong Kong Medical Association, Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry, many more. We have chosen Switzerland as the seat of foundation because of its central geographical location on the world map and proximity to international organizations such as World Health Organization, the United Nations, UNICEF, FIFA, whose support we hope to receive the enable to stay in the platform. Moreover, Basel and Geneva, both Swiss cities, are internationally renowned for their advances in medical science and information technology. We wish to build Center for Medical Excellence across the globe in phase in 2 centers in Switzerland and India to start with. A 6,000 square feet space has already taken in Kolkata, India, and is being prepared for the therapy space of Vishwabandhan for children with cerebral palsy. We wish to start 2 intervention centers spreading awareness among the pregnant women that cerebral palsy is preventable and advanced supplementary therapy and can make the life bearable for children who are born with the problem. Gradually, we'll start these centers across the globe with the support of the advanced medical sciences in Switzerland. We solicit your support and wishes which will provide the encouragement and motivation to continue in our noble journey. A person with cerebral palsy has a special needs, but at heart he is not special. He is a person just like any other person. We need to treat them that way. I hope today's session will go a long way in spreading these awareness among the masses. I would once again like to thank Mr. Ravindra Prasad Jaiswal, the Deputy Chief of Mission, Embassy of India, other dignitaries for extending their support to our foundation and for encouraging us to fight the cause of cerebral palsy worldwide. The Vishwabandhan Foundation for Cerebral Palsy is a combined effort to make a difference to the lives of the families of those affected by cerebral palsy. I hereby take this opportunity to seek support from people and the organizations all over the world in joining us towards the fulfillment of this cause. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Gautam Mitra, President and Founder, Vishwabandhan Foundation for Cerebral Palsy. Mrs. Sharmila Mitra, Director, Vishwabandhan Foundation India, Chapter. Ambassador Philip Welty, Professor Rusher, and other esteemed guests present here, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me convey best wishes and greetings of Honorable Ambassador of India to all the people associated with this program today and the foundation at large. It's unfortunate that she couldn't make it tonight for this function. It's cerebral palsy is a kind of, it's not a disease, it's a kind of condition or say disorder, which is not very much known about. I must confess I didn't know too much about it till yesterday. So I guess it must be the situation for other people as well. So the Vishwabandhan Foundation having taken this initiative to spread awareness about this disorder is a very noble gesture on part of Mr. and Mrs. Mitra. So I heartily thank and appreciate them and their foundation for taking up this noble initiative. It is really praiseworthy that he has tried to convert a personal, irreparable, tragic loss into a cause for good of the humanity at large. It was so unfortunate that his son had to meet this end because of cerebral palsy. I am sure that his efforts and those of the people associated with this foundation will go a long way in making our society more livable for people affected with this disorder. I am told that this disorder does not have any cure. The most you can do is that treat it, in the sense that you can manage it with early intervention, whereby the affected person's functional abilities can be improved. He can be facilitated to live a bit independently and have a good improved quality of life. This condition is also preventable in the sense that by using advanced medical care during birth or before birth, you can control the complications which arise out of this disorder. Thus we as a society or more particularly as lay members of this society who are not therapists, we can do at most is to work to raise awareness and thus facilitate a better quality of life for those affected with this condition. With modern research, and as Mr. Mitra told that only things like instruments can help it. So with modern research and innovation in the field of mobility, communication, biomechanics, etc., I am sure that it will be possible for us to make things better for the people affected by this disorder. I am told that some special schools have come up which are equipped with computers which require very limited motor skills for operations. So I think similar efforts will go a long way in making their life easier. Similarly, biomechanics can give us some special devices to facilitate good living for those affected with this condition. This is also one area where we, as the Embassy of India, has been trying with Government of Switzerland to have some collaboration course, some tie-ups in the area of translation, medical research and medical technology for the benefit of, to take benefit of basically advanced technology in Switzerland. For developed countries, the prevalence of this condition has been reasonably controlled through the way of prevention, but for countries like India, we still need a lot of effort on the part of government as well as the society to take this work forward in the way of prevention and treating this condition. I hope our partnership with Switzerland in realms of science and technology will help us develop jointly some special devices which may be of help to the people affected with this disorder. I once again wish and thank Mrs. and Mr. Mitra for their initiative and wish the very best to them and the people associated with the Vishwa Bandhan Foundation and the movement of raising awareness about the cerebral palsy. Thank you very much.
Mr. Jaiswal, for your kind words. We thank the Embassy of India for their support to the Vishwa Bandhan Foundation. Our next speaker tonight is Ambassador Philippe Velti. Philippe Velti was a former ambassador of Switzerland to New Delhi, and he has been a great source of encouragement and support to Vishwa Bandhan. Mr. Philippe Velti.
Dear Chargé d'Affaires, dear host, dear professor, ladies and gentlemen. Sadness and joy are not far apart, not in India. How many times I have experienced this fundamental Indian character where sadness and tragedy can be followed and overcome by joy of life, which itself remains where the tragedy and sadness can set in at once again. In this sense, tonight's event is very much an Indian story. The Vishwa Bandhan Foundation presents a World Convention on a sad topic, cerebral palsy, which then will be followed and overcome by a Bollywood night, the Indian way of celebrating life with joy, love and music. Behind the program lies a very personal tragedy. The Mitra family's son Abhishek is left with cerebral palsy after birth. And if that wasn't enough, a great misfortune, the child dies 27 years later in the hands of his father due to another medical error. There is nothing to celebrate after this. But still, sadness can be overcome with mental strength, and the courageous and generous deed, the creation of a foundation dedicated to improve medical performance to fight cerebral palsy and avoid tragedies such as the one experienced by the Mitra family. The foundation invites to a world convent to raise and spread awareness about this avoidable tragedy and to promote medical science and care to fight for a healthy life for more children. The foundation, loyal to its Indian origin, then invites to a Bollywood night. I have a personal relationship with Bollywood. I got to know Yash Chopra, the magician of the romantic Indian film, during my time as Swiss ambassador in India, and we got very friendly with him and Pamela. And in September 2010, just 5 years ago, I created in Delhi the Swiss Ambassadors Award, which I bestowed first upon Yash Chopra for what he had done for the Indian film, and for Switzerland by including Swiss mountain sceneries in his romantic tales. We also celebrated the presentation of the award with a Bollywood night, during which I even played the trumpet. I played the most famous Bollywood song from the movie Waqt. You will know that. You could sing it if I would start. But I'm not going to play that again tonight, maybe another time. I just speak. Then you will be generously invited to overcome sadness together with the Mitra family and enjoy life with music and Indian food. I thank the organizers for inviting me to address this joyful and elegant, thank you ladies, audience, and wish you all a wonderful Indian night in Zurich. Thank you very much.
Ambassador Velti. We also have the honor tonight of having Dr. Thomas Lüscher with us. Dr. Lüscher is a professor and chairman of cardiology at the University Hospital of Zurich. Vishwa Bandhan is very proud to have Dr. Lisher as one of our supporters from the Swiss medical community. I would like to ask him to join us on the stage and say a few words of greetings.
Well, thank you very much indeed for having me here, Mr. President of the Vishwa Bandhan Foundation, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a representative of the medical community, as you heard, here in Zurich. I'm not a neurologist. I rather treat patients with heart disease, and that's why I know many of you. And but nevertheless, this Cerebral Palsy Foundation is a foundation that deals with a medical problem. Now, obviously, this foundation is in a great tradition from Andrew Carnegie through Rockefeller's Foundation and others. They have moved medicine in the US and have contributed enormously to the health of the people. And we hope that this new foundation, with a specific focus on cerebral palsy, will do the same for those in need of this disease. Now, as a physician, I would like to say a few words about the disease itself and what it means. We have heard already quite some remarks about cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is a group of movement disorders that appear usually in early childhood or immediately after birth. The signs and symptoms include poor coordination, stiff or weak muscles, troubles of swallowing and speaking, and tremor, among others. Obviously, there's a whole spectrum of severity of these symptoms. There may also be problems with sensation, vision, hearing. Babies with cerebral palsy do not roll over. They have difficulties to sit and crawl or walk at an age when other babies are able to do so. Later in life, there are problems with thinking, but some are not affected by it, and reasoning, and also seizures may occur. So cerebral palsy is caused by an abnormal development or damage to the parts of the brain that control movement, balance, and posture. And this is in particular the neocortex, and as well as the cerebellum, the brain which is in the back of our head and that allows us to walk and run without any insecurity. Most often the problems occur already during pregnancy. However, they may also occur during childbirth, and we'll come back to that, or shortly after birth. Often, however, the cause is also unknown, so research is an important unmet need in this condition. And indeed, the institutions here in Zurich have been very successful in neuroscience and may contribute to unraveling this important disease. The risk factors to have cerebral palsy include premature birth at week 30 or below, rather than at term, infections during pregnancy, in particular toxoplasmosis, rubella, among others, exposure to methyl mercury, head trauma, and possibly also genetic factors. So 3/4 of the damage to the brain of these children occurs during pregnancy, as research thinks. About 10 to 20% after birth, and about 5 to 15% during delivery of the baby. Severe deprivation of oxygen seems to be the major cause of this brain injury that eventually leads to cerebral palsy. So when we look at the distribution of these different causes, which are important also for prevention, so we can say that low birth weight accounts for about 1/3, metabolic errors about for 5%, 10% infection, 10% are inherited or genetic in nature, and about 10% during birth and pregnancy. There are also maternal factors that contribute to cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy can express itself in a spastic manner, movement disorders, ataxia, as the physicians say, or rigidity of the muscles, or even tremor of that as well. You all have seen these children in their wheelchairs or with their crutches trying to move normally. As we don't know exactly the cause, but we do know some, and there is no treatment available, prevention is the major issue here. So if the foundation wants to make an impact, I believe that prevention might be the focus they should take, besides investments in research to further delineate the causes and the mechanisms of this difficult disease that really impairs the quality of life of these poor children. The following measures need your support, therefore, I believe. First of all, vaccination against infections and hygiene, toxoplasmosis, and in particular rubella and other diseases of childhood can cause cerebral palsy, and there are now vaccinations available that if poverty doesn't prevent it, or superstition or any other mental set, then this can be done quite easily. Better care for pregnant women is also very important. During pregnancy is appropriate nutrition, and among others. And finally, also well-trained midwives and obstetricians are crucial. So that, particularly in development countries, this is worth an investment. Indeed, I have talked to my colleagues here in Zurich, obstetricians, neonatologists and other specialists dealing with pregnancy and the period immediately thereafter. And indeed in Switzerland, where hygiene is very high and most people are vaccinated, cerebral palsy has become very rare, and currently the live births rarely suffer from such a disease. This shows that better quality of life, hygiene, vaccination and care for pregnant women during pregnancy and thereafter by experts and well-trained midwives and obstetricians can have an impact in preventing this disease. Then individuals with cerebral palsy, and Mr. Mitra knows this from personal experience, need extensive care. They can often not live alone and need devoted caregivers to live all life long. Physiotherapy may help in some certain conditions, and also a neurology service dealing with spasm and other problems of muscle that lead also to pain and further impair the quality of life of these individuals is worth an investment. So I think that the philanthropy for cerebral palsy meets an unmet need, and I congratulate Mr. Mitra to build this foundation, and I wish you all the best for your activities, and I'm sure that the medical institution in Zurich will help you to make this a success to the benefit of these poor children. Thank you very much for doing so.
Thank you, Dr. Vishwa. Vishwa Bandhan Foundation is not only active in Switzerland, but equally active in India, where they're talking about the lives of cerebral palsy people, looking for ways of making their lives more wholesome, and looking for solutions to prevent cerebral palsy. Today we have among us Mrs. Sharmila Mitra, Director of Vishwa Bandhan Foundation, India. I would like to invite her to join us on stage and bring her greetings from Vishwa Bandhan, India.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ravindra Prasad Jaiswal, Mr. Philip Welty, Dr. Thomas Lucia, Kumasanu and all distinguished guests. It is a privilege and a great pleasure for me to extend a vote of thanks to all those who have contributed in one way or the other to make this convention and Bollywood night organized by Vishwa Bandhan Foundation for Cerebral Palsy a success. Ladies and gentlemen, the Indian chapter of Vishwa Bandhan Foundation was registered in India as Vishwa Bandhan Foundation India for Cerebral Palsy on 5th February 2013. Since its inception, we have successfully organized several medical symposiums with distinguished doctors and public health administrators from various parts of the country. We have also organized several musical programs to raise awareness of cerebral palsy, since we believe Music and medicine should go hand in hand to minimize the agonies of the cerebral palsy and also their caregivers. We have also signed several memorandum of understandings with reputed medical institutions like the Indian Medical Association, Institute of Childbirth, Kolkata, and the renowned Center of Reproductive Medicine and Surgery in Eastern India. We hope to have many such tie-ups in the near future with research institutes, universities, therapy units, and other institutions working on cerebral palsy. On behalf of the Vishwavandhan family, I would once again like to thank everybody present for providing us the courage and support to continue our mission towards creating a cerebral palsy-free world. Let me ask you to join your hands, and especially I welcome Mrs. Anju of Anjum Cultural Expressions, without whose support we wouldn't have made this day. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give her a big hand, and I ask you to join me on stage. Before concluding, let me express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to Mr. Jaiswal, Mr. Philip Welty, Mr. Professor Lucia and Kumar Sanu, who have raised this occasion with their presence here today. I would now invite all of you to please join us for dinner. Thank you.
So I'm sure everyone is hungry. The buffet will be served at the back in the foyer. The concert will begin at 8:30. Please try to be on time. I'm sure no one wants to miss any of the Bollywood cues. And Guatemala.
में बड़ी बेकरारी, आंखों में गई रत जगे, कभी कहीं लग जाए दिल तो कहीं फिर दिल ना लगे। अपना दिल में सहता लो जादू का मैं, इस नाम जादू कर रहा है, जादू कर रहा है। असर छुपके छुपके हम दो दिल मिल रहे हैं, मगर छुपके छुपके हाँ सबको रही है, हाँ सबको रही है खबर। छुपके छुपके दो दिल मिल रहे हैं, मगर छुपके छुपके हाँ छुपके 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 हाँ छुपके छुपके। सांसों की जरूरत है जैसे, सांसों की जरूरत है जैसे, जिंदगी के लिए बस एक सनम चाहिए, आशिकी के लिए जान की जरूरत है जैसे, जान की जरूरत है जैसे, बेखुदी के लिए बस एक सनम चाहिए, आशिकी के लिए हाँ एक सनम चाहिए, आशिकी के लिए। एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा, Come on. Full hall. Yeah. एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा, एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा, जैसे खिलता गुलाब जैसे, शायर का ख्वाब जैसे, उजली किरण जैसे, पन में हिरन जैसे, चांदनी रात जैसे, महरूमी की बात जैसे, खुशबू लिए आए ठंडी हवा, एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा। तेरी बाहों में मर जाए हम, तेरी बाहों में मर जाए हम। मेरी महबूबा